Depth of the Quiet by Latina Sidorov. Chapter 31. Building Meaning Beyond Estrangement. Reclaiming Purpose in a Life You Never Expected to Live. When estrangement first happens, your world collapses inward. Time stops, meaning dissolves. Life shrinks into a single question. What now? Not because you lack imagination, not because you lack resilience, but because estrangement takes the one role that once tethered your entire life to purpose, your identity as a parent, and removes its function without removing its love. You are still a parent, but with nowhere to place your care. Still a parent, but with no one to comfort. Still a parent, but with no place to show up. It feels impossible to build meaning where a foundation once stood and now stands only absence. And yet, life can grow even in the cracks estrangement created. This chapter explores how parents begin building not a replacement for what was lost, but a new meaning that honors both the grief and the life still ahead. Meaning cannot come from the relationship that isn't there. Most parents instinctively wait, "I'll heal when they come back. I'll feel okay when we reconcile. My life will be meaningful again when the relationship is restored." But meaning cannot be built inside a future you cannot control. Meaning cannot depend on the emotional availability of someone who is not offering it. Meaning cannot be postponed until another person changes their mind. Reconciliation may happen, it may not, but your life cannot be suspended in the space between those two possibilities. Meaning must be built in the life you're living now. Not the one you hoped for, not the one you imagined, not the one you lost, but the one that remains. Meaning begins when you stop trying to reconstruct the old life. You cannot rebuild the life that estrangement shattered, not because you are incapable, but because the shape of your life is different now. The old meaning came from parenting, showing up, comforting, supporting, advising, belonging, being part of a shared story, investing in a future with your child. That meaning is not available in the same form anymore. Trying to force your life back into that old shape will only create exhaustion. Meaning beyond estrangement is not a restoration. It is a recreation, not of who you were, but of who you are becoming. Meaning comes from identity that is bigger than the role of parent. You are a thinker, a creative person, a partner, a friend, a neighbor, a healer, a learner, a giver, a survivor, a person with depth, a person with experience, a person with wisdom, a person with emotional courage. Your identity never belongs solely to the role of parent. Even though parenthood was the most consuming part of your life, it was never the only part. Meaning beyond estrangement emerges when you remember, I existed before this role and I exist beyond it. Your story's wider than the chapter that broke you. Meaning is built through the pieces that still respond to life. Even in heartbreak, certain parts of you remain responsive. A conversation that warms you, a project that interests you, a cause that moves you, a hobby that comforts you, a connection that grows slowly, a new curiosity, a new skill, a creative spark, a moment of peace, a moment of inspiration, a sense that life is still capable of reaching you. You don't need to feel ready to build meaning. Meaning begins when something small inside you says, I can still respond to life. That is the seed. Everything else grows from there. Meaning becomes deeper when you use your pain as wisdom, not identity. Your pain is real, your grief is real, your story is real. But your identity does not need to be defined by estrangement. Instead, your pain can become empathy, compassion, depth, connection, wisdom, clarity, emotional intelligence, understanding of human complexity, insight into love and loss, the foundation for meaningful relationships. You do not have to move on from your pain to build meaning. You can carry it with you, as wisdom, not as weight. Meaning is built slowly, not in transformation, but in accumulation. Meaning after devastation does not arrive as one dramatic moment. It arrives in small accumulations. A little joy, a small accomplishment, a day with less heaviness, a moment of laughter, a new project, a new idea, a new routine, a deeper relationship with yourself, a better boundary, a moment when you feel like yourself again. Meaning doesn't leap, it gathers. Meaning doesn't erupt, it accrues. Meaning doesn't shout, it returns in whispers. You build a new life out of many small, quiet choices that honor who you are becoming. Meaning expands when you stop viewing your life as incomplete. Estrangement creates a painful illusion: my life is unfinished until they come back. But meaning beyond estrangement requires a shift in perspective. Your life can be whole even with a missing piece. Your story can be profound even with a painful chapter. Your purpose can be rich even with unresolved grief. Estrangement may have interrupted your imagined future, but it does not cancel the future that still belongs to you. You can build meaning in the days you still have, not as a replacement for what was lost, but as a testament to the strength that helped you survive it. Meaning is not a destination, it is a direction. You do not need a complete plan, a renewed identity, a clear purpose, perfect peace to begin building meaning. You simply choose a direction toward life, toward connection, toward presence, toward healing, toward expression, toward self-compassion, toward curiosity, toward freedom, toward yourself. Every step you take in that direction creates meaning. Meaning is not something you find. It is something you create with every choice that honors your humanity, despite the heartbreak you carry. Why this chapter matters. Estrangement does not end your story. It alters it. Meaning beyond estrangement is not about erasing grief. It is about expanding life around it. It is the decision to live fully even when a part of your heart lives in shadow. It is the acceptance that your story continues whether reconciliation happens or not. It is the quiet, courageous act of choosing a life that honors your resilience, your depth, and the love that shaped you. You are not done. Your story is not over. Your life can still hold beauty. Not instead of the loss, but alongside it. Meaning exists, meaning returns, meaning grows, and you are capable of building a life that is not defined by what was taken from you, but by what you rise to create. If this content resonated with you, you're welcome to like and subscribe to Depth of the Quiet. This is a space you can return to whenever you need steadiness, whether that's during a quiet afternoon or at 2 a.m. when your thoughts feel heavy and sleep feels far away. If you feel comfortable, you're invited to share your reflections, questions, or experiences in the comments. Your voice may offer comfort to another parent walking a similar path. And if today isn't a day for interaction, that's completely okay too. There is never any pressure here. Only support, understanding, and the freedom to heal at your own pace. You are always welcome in this space. Books and resources. If you would like to go deeper, you can explore Depth of the Quiet by Latina, Venus Sidoroff, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon, for spouses and partners supporting an estranged parent, Standing Beside the Broken by Stas Sidoroff, available on Amazon. Thank you for spending this time here. Take care of yourself gently.